welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be filming this video. These are some of my favorite videos to watch, and I have a goal at the moment that I'm trying to get through a lot more of the physical books that I own. And so I thought this would be a fun way to encourage myself to do that. So I have a jar and I've put in a whole lot of prompts that are going to help me choose my reads for the month of May. I do have a holiday in the second half of May, and so for about a week and a half I am going to be overseas. So over that time I will be basically only reading on my Kindle. So I think I'm only going to pick out 4 books this month, and then I'm going to put together another TBR of the books that I want to read while I'm overseas, because I'm going to be in Europe for 5 weeks over the months of May and June. But these are going to be my reads for the first couple of weeks of May. So let's get started. Alright, so this one is a book that starts with a random letter generator. Okay. That's so funny that this is the first one that I've got. So for this one I need to get a random letter generator off Google. Alright, so I'm going to spin the wheel. Okay. D. Okay, exciting. Oh, also, sorry about the lighting. Today has been so grey outside, and then of course as soon as I start filming the sun comes out and I'm kind of on a weird angle, but it's fine. So D. So I have all of these bookshelves in here in our spare room, and then a few piles on the floor, and then there are also a few books on the shelf in our lounge room, and then I also have a couple of piles in our bedroom as well. So I'm going to be pulling these books from all over the apartment. But let me have a think about something starting with the letter D. Okay, so D was a harder letter than I expected, but I have this book, Daddy Issues by Kate Goldbeck, and this is a pretty recent release. I think this one only came out a couple of months ago. So I actually don't know much about the plot of this one, but it's a beautiful book from Afterlight, and it's called Daddy Issues, so I'm pretty sure this one has an age gap, and I'm pretty sure it's a single dad trope. So I'm excited to read this one. I've heard really good things about it, and yeah, it looks cute. So that'll be my first read in the month of May. Okay, prompt number 2. A book from an author you read and disliked. This lighting is becoming so annoying, but this is another prompt that I only have one option for that I can think of, and that is Colty by Mariana Zapata, and I'm actually really excited for this one. It's not that I have disliked Mariana Zapata, but I just don't think I've got to her best works yet. So I decided to read her books in publication order, and this is the first book that I've gotten to that is one of her hyped books. The ones that I've read so far, I've never really heard anyone talk about, and they were okay. I could tell I liked her writing, but she has always been described as the queen of slow burn, and I love a slow burn romance, but something about the ones that I've read of hers so far just haven't done it for me. They haven't been that right kind of slow burn. They've just been long and a bit too drawn out. So we'll see how I go with Colty, because so many people love this one, and I do love a sports romance. All I know about this one is we follow a soccer player and her new coach, and this coach used to be a huge soccer player and she is a huge fan of his, but he isn't the same person that he used to be, and I think they don't get along from the start. So yeah, I don't really know anything else apart from that, but I'm so excited. This has been one that I have been meaning to read for so many years, and I'm so glad that I'm finally up to this one in the list of her books. So that'll be my next read in May. This is a pretty chunky one, so I definitely think 4 books will be enough. All right, book number 3. Hopefully this one, how do I pick out a different color? The last 2 have both been yellow. Okay. A book with bad reviews. Okay. I think it's time for me to finally read Book of Night by Holly Black. This is another one that I've owned this special edition for since it came out, which was 2022. So I've owned it for about 3 or 4 years now. And yeah, this one, so many people were so excited for it when it first came out, and pretty much all of the book boxes did special editions for it because everyone was just so excited. And everyone loves the Cruel Prince trilogy, which I actually haven't read that either. And I probably would prefer to start with that, but I have owned this for so long and I don't own The Cruel Prince yet. And the plot of this did intrigue me. But yeah, as soon as it came out and people started putting out their reviews, so many people were disappointed by this one. So yeah, this one has something to do with shadow magic. I can't remember much more of the plot. I remember so many people talking about it a few years ago, but it's been so long. But yeah, I think I'm ready to give this one a go. And it'll be a good indicator if I like the writing but I don't enjoy this book, of whether or not I should pick up The Cruel Prince, because that has been a fantasy series that I have been wanting to get into for the longest time as well. But yeah, just getting into another 3 books plus series, because there's a trilogy, but then I think she's come out with some other books that aren't part of the original trilogy. It just sounds like a big commitment, whereas there are 2 books in this series and I think it is a completed duology. So I'm going to start with the Book of Night, and that is book number 3 for the month. All right, it's time to choose the last book, and so far I have 2 romances and 1 fantasy, so I wouldn't mind if this one could be some kind of either literary fiction or another fantasy, but let's see how we go. A book with a cover you don't like. It's an interesting one. This is a tough one because I basically only buy books that I like the look of. If I don't like the look of a book, I will read it on my Kindle, and normally I won't buy it unless I'm obsessed with that book. But of the books that I haven't read yet, I usually wouldn't buy a book unless I like the look of it, and I get a lot of special editions that I'm obsessed with the look of them. So for this one, I'm definitely not going to go out into the lounge room because all of my prettiest books from Afterlight are out there. Okay. So I've got 2 books that I'm thinking of. First is Witch King by Martha Wells. And this one is a special edition, but it's not my favorite. I don't really love it. I don't feel like the edges match the cover. I don't know. It's okay, but compared to all of my other books, this is probably the ugliest special edition that I have. And I am also very curious to read Witch King. I haven't read anything from Martha Wells, but I've heard a lot about her Murderbot series, and so many people love that. And I remember when this was coming out, so many people were very excited for this one. But when it actually came out, I didn't hear too many positive, I didn't really hear any reviews, positive or negative, after it came out. I just remember, I didn't go searching for them either, but I just remember the hype of everyone's excitement before. So this is a fantasy option, and then the other one that I picked out was Illuminae. This one looks kind of cool, but I don't know. It's not my favorite. This is by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and I'm currently in the middle of a series by Jay Kristoff, the Nevernight series, and I'm really enjoying that one. I don't know if I should be starting another series by him while I'm still in the middle of that one. I have one book to go in that trilogy, but this one is a sci-fi, I'm pretty sure, and it's kind of got mixed media. Like, it's all filled with text, like messages, chat, emails, different things. So it's interesting. This one's also a trilogy. And it's one that I heard a lot about like years and years ago, but I haven't heard anyone talk about it in a very long time, so I just kind of lost the hype for it. Why is this so difficult? Okay, I think I've decided, because I already have a fantasy on my stack from today, that I'm gonna go with Illuminae, which is a bit different and it's a sci-fi. So that way I've got a sci-fi, a fantasy, and 2 romance as my selection. And I think this one will be pretty quick to get through. It's a very chunky book, but because of the way that it has all this mixed media, I do think it'll be very quick to read. And then once I finish it and finish the series, I can maybe unhaul it as well, which is also a plus. And that's the last book on the stack. So this is going to be my May TBR for the first half of May before I leave for Europe. And I'm pretty excited for this stack. I'm glad that there are a few books on here that I probably wouldn't have picked up if I didn't do this, which is the whole point. I am trying to get through more of my physical TBR so that I can unhaul the books that I don't like, keep the ones that I do, and just make space for more books. So, a pretty good mix of genres as well. Got 2 romances, 1 fantasy, and a sci-fi. So that'll be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please give this video a like and consider subscribing. And let me know in the comments what books you're planning on reading next month. I'm actually so excited to get to these, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.